Hey, welcome to Daejuan's Aerial Quad channel. This is still day 2 of my big road trip out west. We are now in the No Name Rest Area on I-70. This is the rest area that can be accessed eastbound or westbound. It's mile marker 119. It's right in the middle of Glenwood Canyon. Now, I asked Grok, I asked ChatGPT, I asked Google Gemini, all of those before I took this road trip, where are some places that I could fly a video drone and get some really cool footage? And all three of them, given the route that I put in, mentioned this particular rest stop, and I understand why. So I prepped for this. I had all 3 batteries ready to go. And I've stayed here for quite some time, getting some interesting shots, getting some cool footage. This is a very remarkable location. So it's right here in Glenwood Canyon, was cut by the Colorado River. You see the river there beneath me. And boy, we just, we had a lot of really neat stuff here. Let's see. The elevation here is about 5,900 feet. We are pretty far west of the Eisenhower Tunnel. We're on the way to Grand Junction, there on the west end of Colorado. That was the stop for this evening. I do believe after this, we still have one more video's worth of footage from another spot here a little bit east still of Grand Junction. So you notice there is a split in the canyon. See when we see the road again, that is pointed to the west, north of the main part of the canyon here. That's the extra deviation. Colorado River, certainly well known for cutting impressive geography. All right, and here I was lining up a couple of good shots to take photos. Yeah, there's photo number one. Beautiful location. And then I got a little lower. Had a little bit of battery left, so made another pass here past this ridge. Be careful about losing connection with terrain like this. We're about to call it here for battery number one. And here we go. Now we are on battery number two. And for this one, I got a little bit lower to the river. Took off west for a little while. There's some rafters. You can imagine it's quite a river. Anything that cuts a canyon like this is going to be pretty wild. All right, now we're pretty close to where I was posted up here. So we're going to be getting nice and low to the water here in a little bit and take off back to the east. Remember, the Mini 4K does not have any kind of obstacle avoidance sensors. So anytime you're doing something like this, you're going to want to be very careful. That water will not be a good time if you make contact. It's probably about as low down as we're going to get to the water. All right, we've come up to some rafters, but we don't want to freak anyone out. Do like to be considerate. And when you got a view like this, you don't have to just stick to the water. There's a lot of stuff in this canyon you can look at. Yeah, Glenwood Canyon itself, you spend a lot of time in it here on I-70, this part of Colorado. It's about 12, something like that, 12 miles long. And yeah, it's a very windy road. It reminds me of a part of Tennessee which I think that's I-40. You can correct me if I'm remembering incorrectly, but yeah, there's a part of the interstate in Tennessee that goes east to west that is very windy through some canyons. But I don't think it had anything quite so big as the Colorado River. Coming right on up around the bend again. I think right now, you're pointed just about exactly where I am. Not here by the shore, but up on the hill. And the weather was still very nice here on this day. Not much wind to contend with. Obviously, great lighting, as you can see. Made for some very beautiful imagery. Landscape sure helps with that. Okay, now I don't think that I could actually see those power lines I just went in between. I think I have gotten very lucky several times here. So always be aware. Things I've learned since this trip. Walk through your flight area before you fly. If you are unsure, stay up higher and look around, see if you can spot any poles or anything that might have power lines. Okay, I think right here I was about to lose signal. Not for distance, but because of the terrain. So I'm popping up my altitude a little bit. Yep, I'm over near, and I think more off to the left here of where we're seeing. It's where I was posted. So I think next thing we're going to do is follow the train line for a little while. And now, if you're like me and you are very new to all of this and you're not sure exactly how it's going to work, when you record videos on this Mini 4K, it's something like 5 minutes and 20 seconds or so. When you look at your files later, if your video goes that long, it will cut and it will make a new file. I'm guessing this is just so if something goes wrong, you're less likely to lose everything. You'll have like 5.5 minute chunks. In the case of video editing, then the program I'm using is CapCut. I'm sure there's a lot of different programs out there, but you just stack them here one after the other, and it is seamless. You cannot tell where one ends and one begins. So that's a good thing I've learned from this experience so far. Yeah, trying to stay over the tracks. I'm flying exactly at the level that the power lines are. So if one does cross and I don't notice ahead of time, that can get real sketchy. But I've already done some real sketchy things in here. You live and you learn. Fortunately for me, I got to learn in the less expensive way where you just watch it later and you see stuff happen that you're like, ooh, glad I dodged that. Okay, so we've seen going up and over all around these pretty steep inclines in the canyon. There's some sheer face, and then there's some more angled stuff here. But absolutely incredible scenery. This is about the greatest distance we'll make it from where we are, right about in the center of the screen. Well, not now. Was where that was located, or was where I was located. I'll pop up here. Careful me in the past. Don't get too close. We're going for a cool reveal shot here at the top of this hill. Is that what I was thinking? I guess not. But I think we are about to wrap up battery number 2 with a lovely view to end things. And yes, this is going to be battery number 3. Let's see where all we decided to go here on the last hurrah. Again, those Mini 4K, the batteries on that bad boy, they probably go, if there's no wind or anything and you just hover, you can probably get close to the full advertised. I think it's 26. It's something in that ballpark, what they advertise. I've found that actually flying and looking at things and recording in 4K, it's always safe for a little more than 10 minutes. And that's with getting back and plenty of battery life, not being risky. You can go a lot farther. And then as far as range goes, this is not the newest tech that DJI has done for connection between your drone and your controller. But I got past 2 miles out in the desert. Now, I don't believe I recorded those. And that was before I knew about the screen recording things. It does use a noticeable amount of battery when you're recording versus just watching the live feed on your controller screen. So we're going up the mountain here. The Rockies really are something. Again, if you're like me and you're used to the hills of the Ozarks and Missouri, we don't have anything that looks like this. We are staying well within 400 feet of terrain, or over 400 feet from where we started. But we're not abusing that. Make sure everything stays nice and safe. But I've got a straight shot to where I was posted up here. Connection must have been pretty solid still. Now that camera, that quick gimbal shift you saw, that's probably going, changing modes. Hard to tell if I'm going faster now, but cover more ground more quickly. I like to use sport mode. But as I have mentioned before, it is less efficient. You can make more distance with the same amount of battery if you stay in normal mode. Now, I don't think the same applies to cinematic mode. I think that goes slow enough that you're not quite as efficient. Okay, the old Jam Mix 241. So I'll come back. Actually, no, don't do that yet. Looks like I'm setting up a reveal shot. So here I'm at 20 or 23:55. Okay, it looks like I was about to set up a nice reveal shot. And crest this. All right, a little far away from it. Oh, and that hill right behind it kind of goofs up that reveal shot. Well, what you gonna do? All right, I think I'll quit yapping for a little while. We can listen to some more of Dead Armadillo Sounds music. Okay, so I mentioned that offshoot to the canyon to the north a little earlier. I just explored that a little bit. Probably didn't want to go farther just because of connection. And where the rest area sits, you do kind of happen to be in a low spot. Obviously, it's the bottom of a canyon, which means it's easy to get good drone footage from anywhere you can see within the range, the actual range of the connection to the drone. But BVR flight is not really a thing with this sort of technology. Is that the right way to use BVR? I'm not talking about firing missiles. Maybe. Shower. Looks like I'm lining up a nice shot facing back to the east. Man, this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. Again, it's the No Name Rest Area, exit 119 on I-70 in Colorado. Glenwood Canyon. I do hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Thanks for watching De Juan's Aerial Quad channel, and we hope we see you in the next one.